أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم وصلى عليه. Welcome to Radio Dawn and another episode of Rabita with Nasrullah Right. So thank you for joining us wherever you are listening from across the United Kingdom and around the world. So you can listen us radiodon.com. You can listen us live on Radio 107.6 FM, and you can listen around Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, and Leicestershire. Today we will discuss a very important and timely topic, which is resilience in education sector. So, guys, you can listen us 107.6 FM. And if you can go to YouTube, recently we have introduced our channel. So if you can Google YouTube Radio Dawn, so you can see the yellow background Radio Dawn, and you can listen live stream on YouTube. My dear brothers and sisters, the education sector has faced many challenges in recent years, from the impact of the pandemic and technological disruption, mental health concerns, funding pressures, and changing learner expectations. Yet, educators, students, and institutions continue to adapt and move forward. To help us understand how resilience can be built and sustained, we are honored to welcome Dr. Lubna Javed Rizvi, an accomplished educator, researcher, and academic leader. Dr. Lubna, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And I would really like you to thank, I really would like to thank you. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मुझे बुलाने का.
आपका आने का शुक्रिया और very short notice you honored us and we highly appreciate from Radio Dawn team. Jazakallah, thank you very much. So Dr. Lubna, before we begin our discussion, could you please briefly introduce yourself and tell our listeners about your journey in education and academic leadership? I know that you are a senior lecturer now in Buckinghamshire New University. Recently, you joined with this role, but could you please, that we always ask our guests, so our listeners wants to know about your background, your education, your hobbies. So please introduce yourself, please.
So my education journey started from Pakistan. I finished my bachelor's in business administration from Bahria University. Then I finished my MBA, followed by my MPhil, and then I did my PhD from Univers, which is in management sciences from Malaysia, and then I finished my second PhD from University of Bradford in 2024. That was in human resources management. And I moved to UK in 2019. So after coming to UK, obviously after doing my PhD, I started working in higher education sector. Before that, also in Saudi Arabia, I was working as a full-time lecturer in a government sector, and I was working there as a lecturer in King Saud University. Before that, I was working with GeoTV Networks as an HR manager. I was transferred to Dubai. So quite a few universities in with my industrial experience. So I would say like I am in higher education as a full-time academician since 2010, and before that I was more involved in industry.
MashaAllah. So let's start with the first question. You know that we want to, our listener actually wants to understand the resilience, and how do you define resilience in context of education?
So, if you so resilience is the strength. And before I go to the actual topic, what is resilience and what should we should as an educator or the sector itself, because there are many stakeholders in this. We not only the educators, the students, the government. It's a whole ecosystem, I would say, and there are many. So there is. an advice, suggestion, recommendation for all the stakeholders. So before I really jump into that what should we be doing, I want to start from what actually it is all about, like the context, because we are here in UK, so our listeners are obviously globally there. I want to give them a little overview what the sector is, how big the sector is, and how COVID, pandemic, wars, and other geopolitical situation has really impacted that sector.
Okay, another thing which is very important these days, that as you mentioned, after the COVID-19, the things drastically change. It is not merely about surviving the difficulties, but learning from them and becoming stronger. Like, that COVID-19, lot of mental health issues. And these days, yesterday I was talking about with my one friend, and his son actually graduated from Manchester University, and then he did one master's from Nottingham University, and his background from the Nottingham school, High School, which is a private school, and of course, that from Asian background, he spent a lot of money, but still he couldn't find his job after 1 year. So these kind of the things, that these are the concern from the parents. So why is resilience so important in education sector today? Because people are not getting their jobs. People are just students are worried. What do you think?
You have to look into the context. Actually, there is no one simple answer for this. When you say that he has been graduated from one university, he has done another master's from university, sometimes it can be many reasons. So are you really targeting the job you are capable of? Sometimes our aim is too high and we are not ready because you think that we have already done so much. We already have so many degrees, we have so much skills, we are experienced. Why should we settle for less? So sometimes what happens is that you are not ready to settle for less and you don't want to start from the from a very low. When I say low, it means I mean a job that has a lower grade. So I'm not saying that that was the problem. That could be the problem with the person you are referring to. But I would say that, for example, let's take my example. When I came here, I was obviously near 40s, and I came here. I already had 10 years of experience. I had my industrial experience. I was almost done with my first PhD. But I knew that I had to learn so much that I have to start from the scratch. So I started doing my work as a tutor. So I had to settle for less. And my first job was £12 per hour. And I was really, because I knew that this was this, I can't just say no, I only want, I should have the job which is like paying me 45, or it should pay me 45 pounds an hour. So I had to start from the scratch, and I did that without even thinking, oh, why should I have so much experience, I have certifications. So I started from the scratch, and then I finished my PhD. And even after doing my PhD, I found out that wow, I need a fellowship and I need a certification in my education. So I have to have a PGCHE. I need to have my fellowship. Otherwise, I stand nowhere. And I then started doing that. Again, then I first got my job in the university. That was I was paid a very low salary of around like less than £30,000. So again, I could have said, no, that is not my level. I am educated. Have done my PhD. I've spent, and it was my, it was self-sponsored. So I would say that there are many factors that would affect why you are not getting a job. It can be many reasons. Yes, inflation has. Yes, pandemic has. Yes, there are some policies. For example, Brexit. It has really affected all of the, the number of unemployed, the percentage of unemployment in UK. But I would say that, are you targeting? Is your CV right? Have you got the proper skills? Or should you change your pathway? So before, for example, we have almost 2.86 million students, and we have 260 educational providers, in which roughly there are 166 universities. So you can see the economy. I mean, you can see the whole the education sector. It's a big sector. So I would say that people should realize that education is one of the Britain's biggest industries, and if you see universities and research altogether, they contribute around 260 billion pounds to the university, to the economy. Sorry. And for every £1 the public puts in, obviously in the form of their taxes, about £14 come back.
Wow.
So I would say that whenever we are taking case to case basis, or we are trying to analyze one case, or we are, it's difficult. You have to see it as a whole system. That the government is trying its best to give pathways to students, and the government is really very supportive. But on the same time, we still need some help. We still, the educators need help. Women on the industry need help. The education providers need help. So I hope that
Yeah,
answered.
yeah, wonderful, wonderful. You did lot of research, normally, and in a very short span of time, you did lot of research, and it's a wonder. One thing, Dr. Lubna, you mentioned, settle for less. Yesterday even we were talking about this one. Unfortunately, the youngsters, the professionals, there is a stigma back home in Pakistan and here as well, unfortunately, that the people, they don't want to do they just want professional job, okay? If they are, so they don't want to start from the scratch. And we people who actually came from Pakistan, they understand, that these are the problems, that things, the landscape is changing rapidly due to the technological advancement, economic pressure, global crises, and evolving the student needs. So we need to understand that is a wonderful point which you mentioned, that even if there is not that standard which we set, actually we think that, oh, I graduated from this university, this is a Russell Group university, and I need to get certain amount of pay scale, certain kind of a company. So what lesson now we are moving toward the pandemic actually taught us the importance of flexibility as well, digital readiness and emotional well-being. So, what lesson did the education sector learn from the COVID-19 pandemic?
Uh, COVID-19, or things like COVID-19, and I think now we have left COVID-19 behind. I think now the current situation, geopolitical situation, has impacted. We have Brexit in UK. So there's not one factor that has really impacted this. Uh, all the parts of our, you talk about the energy bills, you talk about anything, yet including the education sector. I would say that the one thing that we all have understood is that no matter what happens, you have to be flexible and you have to be adaptive. Let's talk about AI. We were there was time when I said no, 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 AI, no way. Now we are adapting to it, we are learning it. Even an old man is learning it, because they know that it is making their life easier. It has made our life easier, so you have to be adaptive. If you are a graduate from Russell Group, yes, you deserve a good job. But if there is no job, then you are lacking, because you will be without a job for a year. That will not have a very good impact on your CV. So you need a job. It's a catch-22 situation, like to get a job, you need to have an experience, and for an experience, you need a job. So this is I would say a catch, but at the same time, you have to get a job at least, even if it's an internship, even if you're going as to do as a volunteer, so you can learn the skills, you can learn all these things, and you can put it on your CV, and you can go to networks, and you can increase your network. Before anything else, I would like to talk about one thing, that this system, because we are in UK, like you're saying, that people from Pakistan, they come here and then they are reluctant in doing the job. For example, the security jobs or Uber jobs or this job. I would say that the good thing about here in this system, the education system, is that this they provide. There is no door that is ever closed. There really is a path for every young person, even if that person is no is not young. I mean, so let me quickly explain how the system works because it helps everything make sense. Because if a young person he finishes his education, his secondary school at 16, for example, with their GCSEs, after that several doors are open. So if you see the situation in Pakistan, because that's what we were discussing, the route is very simple. You do your matriculation, or now we have GCSEs, we have A levels, then you go to a college. If you are unable to go to a college, that's it. You there is nothing else. You know, you don't have much of options. But here things are different. So, for example, if they want the academic route, they take A levels and then they go to the university. But for example, they say, no, we don't want to go to A levels, or their grades are not good, or because of any situation, or they wanted to work, they couldn't finish, or they couldn't go to the university. Or if they prefer to learn a practical skill, they can take vocational courses like BTech or a T level, or they can do an apprenticeship where they are earning a wage while they learn on the job. And then you have further education colleges. What we call FE colleges are where most of the practical and technical learning happens. So what happens is that they, for example, they train nurses, the electricians, carriers, engineers, and for someone who can't go straight to a university, a foundation or access course acts as a bridge to get them there. So this is so important. Even if right now where we are teaching, I don't. We are teaching foundation level students. They are 40, 45, 49. Some of them are our age. They don't even know how to use computers. But the good thing and the beauty of this system in UK is that they are so supportive. They are
Mhm.
supporting them. You know. So if that person is at this age is saying in Pakistan, you can't even think of sitting with a 19-year-old kid beside you and learning the same content. You would
Mhm.
never think about it because that's a stigma, like you said. But in UK, we have in our class a demographic where a 50-year-old or a 45-year-old is sitting with a 19-year-old, and they are getting the same support and they are getting the same system. So this is adaptability, in our minds. And this platform has been provided by the government, and I would say that this is the beauty of this system. So,
Yes.
yeah,
So wonderful. You know that you explained in a very good manner. So student, as you mentioned, face also academic pressure, and after COVID-19, the people are busy. You know that people are unfortunately due to the mental health concerns, financial difficulties, and another very important thing is about the social media influence. And unfortunately, they have some kind of uncertainty concerns as well. Now, the AI also took over a lot of things, and many students also struggle with the balancing studies, family responsibility, and employment. But one factor which I'm thinking, which is the most important, and that factor is distractions, social media. The students don't understand where they want to go actually. There is a lot of fluctuation going to happen inside the career. So what challenges do you think that these are the students facing today?
when you're saying distraction, so these distractions are, I think, challenges more for the parents than the students themselves. Because that is their choice. And I think when these students are kids and they are with their with
And the next question, of course, you know that Lubna is about. It's about the, and I often tell my kids, and my missus actually, the other day she was telling to our kids that, listen, you know that your father is so obsessed with mobile that even I'm just going to start shouting, he's not going to end. So what about you guys? It happened, you know, that you mentioned, right? That, you know, that even the elders,
yeah,
the other day, very, you know, that academic person, and he was telling me that when I checked my screen time, it was about 4 hours.
yeah. Yeah.
what you can do about the kids?
Yeah, when I say, well, I would not say that I would not I second you in this. Of course, this is a huge distraction. Even our relationships are being affected by. I have seen many couples and especially wives. Uh, don't give me this look, but especially wives, they are complaining that their husbands, even if they are there with them, they are not with the, they are all on their phones and scrolling all the time. Even they are sitting and they want to have some fun, watch movies together. The husbands, most of the time, they are scrolling. This is a huge debate. I think it's quite debatable, and this is absolutely a different topic. But uh,
This is not absolutely
no,
different
no, it's
topic
a very, very,
because I don't know why we are obsessed, particularly the people who belong to academia. They are so much obsessed, including myself. We are obsessed because that my father was in academia. He was an educator, and I think that it's genetically transferred. I'm much more concerned about, even I'm using my mobile, it doesn't make any difference because whatever but when I'm looking, my kids, they are
yeah,
actually using
exactly.
so much mobile phone. They are not focusing on studies.
Mhm.
I couldn't control myself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That is actually what I wanted to say. That if we start, talking about this, that how can we remove the distraction from our lives, the elders, the whole conversation would lead to some other direction. So that is what I wanted to say. That when we talk about the kids and their distraction, it is really a challenge even for the parents. But I would say that it starts from your house. It starts from the way the whole house system is designed. Kids, they don't know anything. Their brain is like a white paper. I know there is a lot of peer pressure when they see their friends having all those things and which they don't have. They come and they complain, and then they know their rights, and their brain is not as mature as that they could take decisions, but they want to take decisions, and sometimes they don't realize what they are missing right now. The whole How can you remove the distraction is that you give them time. This is your time for study. Once you will study and you will complete this task, then only we are going to give you your cell phones or your tabs or your. I think you have to discipline them, and you have to teach them the discipline from the very beginning. Because if when they are in a primary school, they are much more in control. But if you are going to, or if you will not discipline them, when I'm saying discipline, I'm not talking about strictness. I'm talking about telling them that how important it is for them to manage their time, to discipline them that this is their homework time for 2 hours,
Mhm.
for 1 hour. This is their, for example, this time. So they need to be. When I was reading somewhere that the first thing you can do is make your bed when you wake up in the morning.
Mhm.
That is the first thing that you can do. If you are daily making your bed, at least cleaning your bed,
Mhm.
you will be able to discipline yourself. Because your mom and or your dad are there for you for only for some time, but after that, when you will go in your life, in your practical life, even after marriage, or you yourself will be in trouble if you can't discipline your life. Your things won't be at place. You won't be able to time manage your life. You won't be able to do things in, because you will not be able to meet your deadlines. You will always have this thing. Oh, we'll do it, no problem, tomorrow. Okay, we'll do it, just put it there, just do it. If you cannot manage your own life, your own wardrobe, your own bed in the beginning, when you are not doing your homeworks on time, you are missing your deadline. What will happen that when you will be in the late 30s or 40s, you won't be able to teach yourself. You can't teach old dogs new tricks.
Very good.
So I think that the discipline, it is initially the responsibility, humbly, for the parents to tell their kids to be disciplined and how important. If you see all the people who are very progressive, or who have achieved anything in life, and if you try to see their lives, Michael is a movie I'm really being inspired by. That I've seen that movie almost 3 4 times, and I've seen that movie twice in the cinema. Why I'm telling this is, if you see his life, I'm not debating here about his father Joseph right
Mhm.
now, but if you see, the first thing that he taught Michael was discipline.
Mhm.
you know. And when you see his biography, when you see all of the things that he was being taught, you see Ronaldo discipline.
Mhm.
Anyone in your
And
life, progressive or who has achieved something in life, the first thing is discipline. And let's talk one more thing. God has made us, and he has programmed us in a way that you are disciplined. The first thing, a baby is born, he cries
mm,
because he is disciplined, programmed
mhm.
that he needs milk, he will cry. And why we get depressed is because when we have no discipline in our life, you get depressed. There was a picture somebody posted on Facebook on the other day, and they say then there it was a very dirty house, and they said, "What do you think?" The first word that came in your mind after looking at that house room, and people said she's depressed.
Mm.
So a depressed person will have a messy room.
Wow.
You know why? Because there is a lack of discipline.
And very important and things you mentioned, and students and the youngster,
Hmm.
rather than students, I would say that the youngster, they can build resilience by developing a growth mindset, the
Exactly.
resilience. Okay, so learning from mistakes,
Hmm.
and other important setting the that resilience uh, goals as well, seeking the proper support when needed. And one thing you mentioned, that it is the mindset, it is the discipline. Unfortunately, we are not teaching our kids discipline and the means adab. I was watching yesterday late Junaid Shamshed interview, and he said a beautiful words. He said कि हमारे माँ बाप ने हमें शरारती करने से रोका नहीं है,
Hmm.
लेकिन हम शरारती करते रहे हैं, लेकिन हमें उन्होंने ये दरस दिया है कि हमने बदतमीजी नहीं करनी। एंड बदतमीजी मीन यू आर नॉट ए डिसिप्लिन, यू डोंट नो to whom you are talking. Is it an elder person? So it means that you need to teach them discipline. You need to teach them that how to develop that growth
Hmm.
mindset. Next question is, what do you think role of the parents playing the building discipline? And I think that, mashallah, your one daughter, she is a doctor, and the other kids, they are doing very well. So being a parent, I think that that is the first thing. The parents, they are actually preparing the next generation as well. And what role do parents play in building resilience? Or we can say resilience is a bit difficult word. I would say again that it is a discipline. How the parents, they can play a vital role in building discipline in kids' life.
Okay. So you have bombarded me with so many questions, and hopefully I will answer them. And then we'll go back to the same to the topic where we were. But you cannot teach unless you don't practice.
Mhm.
You cannot tell a child, go and pray, if he sees
Mhm.
you never praying. You cannot tell a child to go and read a book if he never have seen you reading any book.
Mhm.
You cannot tell a child, switch off the TV and you go to bed at 9 o'clock unless you are doing it yourself. Practice what you preach, and it starts from your house, it starts from your home. You are shouting yourself, and you tell your child to be quiet or to be calm, to be humble. You are misbehaving with your parents, and he is watching it. That the way you are talking to his grandparents, and you ask him or command respect, it is not possible. The way you will treat your parents, your child is going to treat you the same way because he watches, he observes. He is not going to take your command if he sees that you are not doing the same. While driving, if a father is abusing a pedestrian or he is not following the rules, the child is going to do the same. So I would say that yes, we can teach them, but before teaching them, we should practice it. If
Mhm.
we really want our kids to be disciplined, we should show them what discipline is rather than just hammering it on their head. Just be disciplined. We should show them actually. We should show them that it can be done as we have done it. And then one more thing I would like to add, like there is a very the meaning to that is that Hazrat Ali Rasulullah Ta'ala Anhu said that you have to make sure कि आप अपने बच्चे को उस जमाने के हिसाब से पाल रहे हैं
Mhm.
ये उन्होंने कितना साल पहले
That, that
बोला
that that is a very difficult thing.
but
That's a
that is
look. Look,
नहीं लेकिन
I'm,
but I would say
that where actually I was coming. Actually, I was listening with a renowned educator a few days back, and she mentioned the same thing. Of course, parents play a crucial role by creating a supportive environment. But I think, just imagine, like we came from the background where is our parents raised us in a very good manner in a religious environment. So, do you think, like, that you are saying, okay, we forget all those things? I'm just asking the question, even, that I'm not that kind of strict, that father. But when I'm thinking, that, okay, fair enough. This is the environment, this is the things which are happening in front of me. And I'm just going to allow the Western culture, allow my kids what they want to do. Do you allow your kids? What do you think?
yeah, this is a very general but I would say that we have to understand whatever we were raised with that was the environment that was given to us
Hmm.
and you have to understand one thing that you have chosen to give this surrounding environment to your kids. It's not their fault if they are going to a school where everything is available for them. And the way we were raised in a very strict environment in a country where everything is under control, whereas the things are different here, the cultural difference is here.
Hmm.
So we have to give this benefit to them. So we need to make sure that are we really adapting as a parent. Our parenting style can't be the same as our parents were parenting us. We have to be adapted. We have to change. I changed myself so many times. The way I was with my daughter few years back, I can't be the same way I am with her now. The way I was with my son few years back, I can't be with him now because I know I have to change. I have to be his friend more than his mom. Well, sometimes that monster do come out, but I have to, because uh, now the youngest one I have, he is very abrupt sometimes, and then we have to say, oh, hold your, you just behave. So sometimes it is very difficult. It is very challenging, but we have to understand our kids' mindset as well. It is very important. Like in our class, if you see, they keep on telling us, well, make sure that your approach is student centered, make sure your approach is student centered. And you can see, you and me and all of us as educators, how do we change our pedagogical style?
Hmm.
Our teaching style changes because we want to be student centered. Similarly, we can do the same with our kids at home as well. One thing. So if you see this, one thing I would like to add here is accountability.
Hmm.
Accountability is must, and
Very good.
when you can't measure it, you can't control it. So even if you say the framework, the UK framework, we have so many universities, and I have given you an example like 166 universities, and we have 260 institutions. And if you see these, they also have a system which is they have a framework, they have a regulator body, and this is, for example, Office of Students. It registers every university and make sure that the students are genuinely getting a good deal,
Good deal.
and
Hmm.
then we have QAA, like the quality assurance
Insurance.
agency, which look after the academic quality and standards. And on the top of this, teaching quality is measured through TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework. Now, where the universities, that they earn gold or silver or bronze, and on the other hand, we have the research framework, and this is the last assessment. So
Yes.
4 out of every 5 pieces of UK research were rated world leading or internationally excellent. Why? Because they are made accountable, because there is accountability. So accountability is must. Where there
Uh,
is no accountability, you will not be able to measure it.
Okay. And that is very interesting thing about the resilience. But you know that most of our listeners, they actually at the moment, and this is the Saturday night, and we got a maximum of our listenership at the moment. So I'm just moving little bit that thing about the resilience and about the discipline. And the biggest challenge at the moment, as we mentioned earlier, is balancing integration with the identity. Okay, so at the moment, you know, we facing Muslim children grow up navigating multiple influences, family values, school environment, social media, and wider society. And you know that a few days back, I was listening. You know that one actor interview, and he said that, oh, you know that when we are going to raise our kids, actually we just imagine about our parents, but we didn't look at that one, that now there are different things happening. Of course, different things happening. Parents must help children feel confident in their faith as well, while also becoming active and successful member of society in Western world. And you know that, to be very honest, there are a lot of debates. Actually, I have invited the head of you know that sex education in, you know, Nottingham and surrounding areas. There is a lot of things happen, but the problem is that we need to understand that where they are coming from. Okay, so what are the biggest challenges Muslim parents face in the West today? What do you think?
So the first thing is culture,
Mhm,
culture, and the second thing is identity crisis.
mhm.
Well, again, the topic was drifted away, and I was never prepared for this. But I will just speak extempore now. So
Extempore, you know, I did hundred and thousands interview, and
this is the
uh,
first time I am on
uh,
radio.
and you know, I'm just going to tell you, trust me, always the interview are interesting when they are extempore,
Okay,
because you know,
if you say so.
and it is my experience, trust me. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say the first thing is identity crisis. What happens is that our whether it's UK, whether it is any Western part of the world, our kids they go to into the identity crisis. And what is identity crisis? Well, they want to be something like the other person, you know, because they want to get their identity, because they want to be blended in them, whether it is the other culture, whether it is mostly, you know,
Mhm.
if they are here in the Western, they want to be Western, whereas the people of the other culture are not going to accept them as they are, you know, as if they want to be in their clan. So what happens is when they don't want to go back to their group.
Mhm.
So what happens is that they are in between. So there is an identity crisis.
Mhm.
So that is happening with most of our kids. That is why they want to be westernized, and when they are westernized, they are not being accepted as they want to be accepted. And then when they want to come back, because they already have being westernized, when they come back, they get a lot of criticism, you know. He doesn't do that, he's not following. So I think our generation, and especially our youth, is facing a lot of difficulties. Let's talk about what I have observed in last few years, and I would say like 7 years, almost 7 years, is that some of the countries, I'm talking about the Muslim countries only, some of the countries, they have really made sure that their kids have they are going to this place, they have their identity very, you know, or they have a very straight and strict discipline when it comes to who to mingle with, who to go with, who to be friend with. There are no for example, mingling late or going for sleepovers. And I have seen those families, kids, they are doing really well. When you see them, when you meet with them, when you talk to them, it's not about how much they are making, it's about the way they talk, it's about the way they behave. So I would say that like there is a time when the kids are in your control, and at that time the parents should make sure that they are giving their best. Again, I would mention here is, don't only teach what you don't practice. Please practice, try to practice, and show them. So show and tell. You just don't only tell and theoretical thing, you are absent, you are not doing anything, and you're just telling him, oh, please pray 5 times. You have never prayed. Read Quran. You have never opened a page, you don't even know how to do tajweed, you don't know tafsir, you have never read a Quran, and you ask him to do that, he would say why. So I think that this is what
The practical aspect is more important. So
practice, show them. That
yeah.
is what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
that if I'm doing something, if I'm not doing something, and I keep on telling my son to do it or my daughter to do it, she or they are never going to say that, okay, what about you?
Mhm. Okay, let's go back to our topic, and we are going to interconnect this topic as well. So, Muslim children may encounter the misunderstanding in their schools, colleges, or even in universities, discrimination, a feeling of isolation. You know that after 9/11, uh, there is lot of things happened, and the people, that even when we are traveling, we are just thinking. The other day I was in a restaurant, and when I put my bag there, so I was thinking, oh, that there is some kind of stereotyping. So resilience equips them with the emotional strength, confidence, and self-belief. And a resilient child can remain proud of their faith while responding positively to the challenges. Of course, that when our kids, they are going to school, so the thing is that I was telling in my other show as well that, oh, that we started shouting, oh, tu hai kyun nahi kita? Why you are not studying? What happened? But the bottom line or essence is the way you are telling, we need to be practical, and gradually we need to, oh, तू बच्चों को कहना हिजाब क्यों नहीं करती, तुम पर्दा क्यों नहीं करती. But you know that we are not going to educate them. At least we are spending 15 to 20 minutes, either we are going to read the hadith or the translation of Quran, and that environment, then we are expecting that our kids are going to be a very good Muslim. So coming back to the topic, why is resilience particularly important for the Muslim children?
So the question I would ask you is, what do you mean by resilience in Muslim children first, before me answering it?
Yeah, that resilience in Muslim children means that, for example, if the kids are going to school, and they are going to be a discriminate, and they are being, and I actually witnessed one of my neighbor's kid, actually he been discriminated in the school, and they been bullying in school. And I went there, I actually met to the head teacher. And now I don't know how to tell that kid that how he need to face this situation, when that the kids are going to discriminate. So how we can manage these things in our kids, tell them that, oh, you need to face these kind of the discrimination or bullying at school.
Okay, so this is the first thing is that the government, the system, they have a very good support system for anyone, regardless of he's a Muslim, what color, nationality, culture he's from. Even there are many non-Muslims and the nationals, the British, they are being bullied. So I would not first of all segregate only from Muslims and not non-Muslims or other. So bullying is a topic which is there now, especially in this Western countries, especially, and. So I think that we cannot just segregate that it is happening only to the Muslim kids. One thing. Now let's talk about this. The second option, the second thing that you asked, that what should we tell our kids that bullying can happen? Well, The first thing is that if he is being bullied in the primary school, or you should have that relationship with your kid, that he should never be shy to tell you what's going on with him. Please talk to your kid, please talk to your kid, I would say. And I keep on telling this to the parents, whoever comes to, whenever we are discussing, whether it's my sisters, whether they are my sisters or my friends, or in my university, I tell everyone, please talk to your kids. Take some time out. It doesn't mean, it doesn't necessarily has to be a quantity. It should be a quality time. Once at least ask them. You can easily see that they are not in a good mood. Ask them, what's wrong with you? What happened with you? Once, twice, thrice. Try to see what's wrong with that person. For example, my kid was telling me the other day, we can't use the toilets, because when we go to the toilets, groups from the, like, the sixth form, or the other, the elder boys, or they come and they just smash the door and they come inside and they take your pictures and then they upload the pictures. Because of that, the boys were not, they were afraid of going to the toilets. So these are some of the things you have to talk to your kids about it openly, candidly, that because they should trust you. You should be the first person they could come, even the father or the mom or sister or sometime a brother. You should have that connection with your kids, to that they should tell you, okay, sometimes you're working or you're stressed out. They should have someone they can talk to, because the most important thing I have seen, kids who are being bullied, they can't tell because they don't have, is they have no connection, they can't talk to anyone, and then they go into the depression, and then they start using different drugs to get themselves numb. So this is what I would suggest first, that talk to your kids, make that connection with them, that they should come to you before going to someone, before going somewhere else. Sometimes I have seen, so my sister, one of my sisters, she's working in a safeguarding team, and she tells me, sometimes many of, you're talking about Muslims, so sometimes many of them are being molested in their own houses. What are you talking about? That we are not talking about now in the school. Some of them are being molested in their own houses.
In own house, and
Exactly, and in their family
in
circles,
the inner family
in their
circle.
family circles.
Yes.
And to your amazement, I would tell you, and to my amazement, I'll tell you one thing, that the mothers knew it, and they didn't do anything because they were afraid. So I think that this is something that you need to have. The first thing is, you need to take you need to talk to your kid, have and tell him that this can happen, and if there is something wrong with you, talk to me, the parents, your sister, brother, anyone he trusts in his family, and then you can get the support. Like I said, there are so many programs, and I'm so impressed by the system, especially in the schools. They have the system in place. Sometimes you need to be signposted to those systems, sometimes you are not aware, parents are not
No.
aware that they can be, they can go there and talk to the team. I have myself personally, because of my son, he's a special child. He needs support because he has some, so he was born deaf and mute, and then he got speech therapy, and I would really appreciate the whole system of UK, the way they have really
Re-
helped him to get the speech
Speech.
therapies and now. But he still get bullied. When he went to the school the first time, they took his implant off and threw it, and that trauma is in him. So I spoke to him and I helped him, and still he cries when I talk about it. He cries, and that thing is engraved, I think, in him.
Yes.
So I would say, talk to your kids, and then there are helping, and you need to signpost, you need to talk to
And
the school.
another important factor, that we hear, like in Ikrimia Institute, Dr. Musharraf, and they actually do a lot of leadership courses. These kind of courses, you can join them as well.
Mm.
And another important factor, that the things are going to be changed drastically. Unfortunately, the right extremist groups, they are growing, and you will surprise Dr. Lubna that the other day one of my friend, he was talking about, and he was he's around 50 55, and I said that how was the environment at that time in early 80s. So he said ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਅਗਰ ਸਕੂਲ ਚਲੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਾਂ ਤੇ ਬੜੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਨਾਲ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਂ ਸਕਦੇ, how terrible environment at that time. Now I can understand there are some that there are some kind of the rules and regulation. Lot of parents and kids actually, unfortunately, they even don't know. Okay, let's move to the next thing, which is about the identity. That a lot of parents, they are worried about the identity, and identity begins at home. Children should understand not only what Islam teaches, but also why it teaches those values, like the regular prayers, recitation, family discussion, and also our cultural thing, like being a Pakistani. There are a lot of cultural things we need to tell our kids who actually born and brought up in this country. Okay, so how can parents, kids build a strong Muslim identity in our kids?
I would say one thing, that are you proud of your identity?
Yes, of course.
So this is the first
Yeah.
question. If the parent is proud of their identity, and the child will really observe that if my father, if my mom, are they proud of their identity? Like, are you proud of your car? Are you proud of your house? How proudly do you tell people that I am from this country? Or you are trying to hide, Pakistan de to kuch nahi rakhiya.
Mhm.
This is so important, and we don't realize it, that our kids are listening to all of this. If you are not proud of your country and your identity, why and how do you expect your kid to be proud of their identity as Pakistani? It's easier said than done. Don't pressurize them. Remember, the kids are, I think the kids are getting or having more challenges than us. We had a very simple, straight life because we had no options. They have lots of options. We never had an option. Even if we were in a what you say, in a school where we had both boys and girls, we knew our limits. But here things are completely different. So if we say they should be proud of their identity, are you proud of your identity? And then, how many times have you taken them to Pakistan? How can they know their culture except for Eid, that you have one grand Eid in a ground, and then you are praying, and then okay, finished. After that, how many times have you taken, or how many times have you made sure that they go back and they talk to someone or your family in Pakistan? It is, I think it is all linked. You cannot just target, or you just cannot say, oh, it's their kids' fault. Yes, but you need to give them that platform. You need to do efforts. If you can't go to Pakistan because it is very expensive, I understand. Sometimes many people, they have never visited Pakistan, it's been so many years, because it is expensive. At least let them talk
Talk.
to the people.
Pair.
Let them talk to the people, video call them.
Yes.
So show them how, and then telling them pray 5 times a day, telling them to do hijab, telling them to, it is a very, very good thing. But again, are you practicing it?
Mhm.
So this
Okay.
comes from us, and we as parents, it's our responsibility at least to show them, do our part, and then leave it to themselves. Even I would like to add, you are parents are responsible, and they will be asked by Allah, at least for the kids who are who did not reach the age of adulthood, sorry, and 18, or whatever the age is on Islamically. You are responsible to teach them. आपने अपना पार्ट
जी
अदा कर दिया
कर
एज अ मुसलमान. आपने अपने बच्चे को स्कूल के लिए उठाया था बिस्तर से खींच के.
हाँ,
आपने उसको उठाया नमाज
नमाज.
पढ़ने के लिए फजर के लिए. नहीं
हम्म.
नहाए, थोड़ी देर और सोने दो. Then why do you expect that he is going to pray and then you are shouting at him? So this is
नहीं,
one thing. But
जो जो एक चीज है ना कि एकदम आप बच्चे को उठाना या उसे पुश करना, to be very honest, I don't agree with
yeah,
this because I think that of course you can do a little bit strictness, but the other thing is, if you are going to tell your kid that, oh, that if you are going to say 5 time prayer, Allah will ease your risk. Okay, Allah will give you the risk. You need to tell the benefit. Why our kids, they are doing very work hard, because that they understand that, okay, if we will end up in a medical school, we will that we will perform well in our life, we will make our career. So this is very important factor. And how it can possible that when we are going to read the hadith or Quran, the translation of Quran, when we will do. Okay, let's move to the next thing, which is very important. And you mentioned that thing, like that about the bullying. That is a communication. Okay, so children need parents who listen without immediate judgment. Okay, because building trust is essential. Like I often tell my immediate circle that boys must be friend of their father, and girls, they must be friend of their mother. So when children feel safe discussing sensitive issues, parents can guide them more effectively. And this is what about that your identity. This is what about the safety. These days the safety is about how they can tell you. If you are judgmental about the kids, they are not going to contact you. So how can Muslim parents improve, which is I observe that in our Muslim parents, there is lack of communication. So how can Muslim parents improve communication with their children?
And they need to, the first thing again, the relationship. If you need to have that relationship with your child, you need to talk to your child and give. I'm not again talking about quantity. Quality is important. You need to give quality time to your kids, listen to them without being judgmental, like you say. If you are going to be judgmental to them all the time, and they will be, when I say judgmental, ye kyun kar diya, ye kyun kya hai, ye kya ho gaya. So that is the most, I think for them also, this is something which they don't want. And now the kids are very different. Why? Because we never cared about what that person will think about us. But today's kid, he needs validation. They
Hmm.
are online because of validation. They need views because they need validation. And most of the suicides that are happening, most of the things that are happening, most of the depressed kids, that you see around, the youth in depression that you see, is because they think that they are not being validated. Most of our girls, when I say our girls, I'm talking about Muslims girls, they are doing so many things because they want to be part of a circle which is in their school, and they need validation for that, because they need to be validated. And when they don't get validated, when they don't get those validations, whether it is in a form of a views, whether they are form of someone allowing them to be in their circle, they get depressed, and then they go to drugs, and then they go their different medications. If you see, in our times, when we never even knew that depression exists. We could not have said, oh, we are depressed. What is depression? What is depression? Now we see every other person depressed. I'm not saying that the main reason is this, but mostly the youth, they need validation. That is why they want to be validated. So the same thing, if you see now, why I am saying this is because they need validation at home. They need validation as well. So give that validation to them by telling them that something that they had done. So if you are enforcing their positive behavior, that is called positive reinforcement, they are going to repeat it. So if you tell them that this is something they are allowed, they can do it, they can talk to you, even if they have done something bad, they can come back to you. And because you are their only protector,
Mhm.
you are the one who will be behind their back if they have done something wrong. So they will eventually, not 100 out of 100, but at least they'll be able to tell you 40% of their problems. So I would say that please, at least the kids, still they are not in their secondary, because primary still kids are small, and they are, they will come to you and they think that you are talk to them, develop that connection, let them speak out, don't be judgmental, tell them never, never, never try to punish your kids or shout at your kids in front of others. I have done it so many times, and I learned my way, I was wrong. But don't do that. Try to tell them when everyone is gone, because if you really want him to improve that habit, he will only listen when he is alone. But if you are trying to do it in front of so many, or in front of a crowd, or in front of your family, he will never, he will hate you to do that. He will hate you for that. So if you have, okay beta, you have done that, you should not have done that. When everyone is gone, वो उसकी इस्लाह करेगा. मगर
Mhm.
अगर आपने सबके सामने उसको
Kardiya.
जलील कर दिया, वो
Yes,
उसको अपनी, वो एक सारी जिंदगी उसके दिमाग में एक ट्रॉमा रह जाएगा. तो एक
yeah,
ये छोटी छोटी चीजें,
absolutely.
एवरीवन, वी ऑल लर्न from our, obviously I have learned so many things I have done. I,
Sister Zora, she often with me in another show, and we often talk about she born and brought up in this country, and we often talk that this is an amazing country, as you mentioned, like that about your kid. Uh, and how much help actually you got from the this system. So Islam also encourages the positive contribution to society. I think that this is a great country, and we should respect this country. So Muslim children can proudly embrace their faith while actively participated in the British society. So through education, like community service, if they are not a good student, they can't become a professional, they can't become a very good doctor, they can't become a civil servant or a civic engagement. So can children be fully British and fully Muslim?
they get the passport, they are British anyways. I mean, that is
No,
something I
no, no,
understand.
no, no.
So
No, let me explain my question. You know that that is. Have you heard Mediason? Once he actually asked a question. I don't remember the name of that journalist. She's amazing journalist, and she had a 1 hour podcast, and she asked about the insider and outsider. He born and grown up in this country. He got education from Oxford University. He became the president of Oxford University. But still, he said that I consider sometime insider and sometime I'm outsider. So, I mean, about the fully British mean that the people are going to accept in this society and as a fully Muslim. What do you think?
you have to hold very tight to your identity. And
Mhm.
I tell everyone, even I told my kid the other day, never be ashamed of what you are. You
Mm,
are what you are. Even if you do whatever, you cannot just peel your skin off you.
mm.
You will be known.
You can't become from
You,
from Yaqub to Jacob,
yeah. So you
Maryam to
can,
Mary.
you can,
You can't hide yourself.
yes. So it is, the best way is to be proud of what you are.
Hmm.
And what you are, your culture, your religion, yourself, your skin. Don't be wannabes, because wannabes end up nowhere. You cannot, don't get into the identity crisis. Be proud of yourself, be proud of your region, be proud of your country. I really feel so funny when I ask people, where are you from? They say, "Oh, well, we are from here." I say, okay, but where are you from? And they don't tell you where they are from, because if you know what I mean. So so I would say, be proud of yourself, and then from there you can rise. If you
Mashallah.
are not proud of your, if you're not proud of yourself, you're ashamed of your nationality, you're ashamed of your skin color, your culture, your values, your religion, you will end up nowhere. Because uh, uh, you are what you are. You should be the part of your own group. Be proud of it, and then rise from there.
Mashallah. It's actually I was expecting just 1 hour, but the interview was a bit lengthy. Now, actually, I would say that Allah says in His holy book, "Ya ayyuhallazina amanu sta'inu bis sabri was salah. Inna Allah ma'as sabirin." So, all you who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patience. Okay, so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced immense challenge as yet remained steadfast, so compassionate and hopeful. His example teaches us that the resilience comes through faith, patience, and trust Allah. And being a lecturer and in uh, academia, so I would suggest that हमें जो है वो सबसे पहले अपने बच्चों को सब्र और अल्लाह से ताल्लुक जो है वो सिखाना चाहिए। और ये जो अल्लाह से ताल्लुक है, अल्लाह से राबता है, अल्लाह से कुरान कुरान मजीद से जो ताल्लुक है, ये जो है ये सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है। ख़वातीन हज़रात, अगर हमारा ताल्लुक अल्लाह ताला से होगा, अल्लाह ताला से हमारा राब्ता बराह रास्त होगा, तो इंशाअल्लाह हमारी चीज़ें जो है वो आसान होती रहेंगी। बाकी हम जो भी करें लेकिन अल्लाह ताला से राब्ता रखें। आखिरी कुछ चंद वर्ड्स जो है आप कुछ कहना चाहें? जी, जी।
Akhri, the last thing I want to say that we really, obviously, this was excellent discussion, excellent things that you asked and we discussed. The last thing I would, because we just went off the topic, so I would say that we obviously after the when we were talking about the resilience in education, so because now the whole sector is going through a lot of pressure, and after the visa rules, that has changed into 2024, the numbers, they fell, the students, international students, which are basically contributing 42 billion in the economy, 42 billion pounds in the economy. So the rule has changed. The universities are under immense pressure. I would say that now we are in a very tough time when it comes to educators, the students itself, and the universities. They all are in, I think, immense pressure. So I would say that there are many things that we can build, like, and we can do, we can support. Um, uh, there are many CPD free courses that the educators can do to make sure that they are still resilient. And uh, and when it comes to women, I think that 50% of
Thank
the students we have. Hmm?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
50% of the students we are women, and nearly half of the academic staff are women. And we are, though the sector is in pressure, we educators need to make sure that we are in proper frame of mind to make sure that we are giving best to our students at these times, because 50% are women. And women also, when I say women, like, for example, do we have policies for these women who are going through the premenopause,
Yeah.
postmenopause situations? Do we have any leaves for them? They
Mhm.
are going in, for example, brain fog, depression, things. We need to make sure that the government can also see and look into it, that how many of the policies does really reflect and
Help them. Yes.
help them. And for example, 2 in 3 women were affected, or they still are affected at work, and 1 in 6
I think
lost from
that
the
the
workplace.
women topic and the resilience of women we will inshallah consider at some other point. So खातिन मेरी तो अंग्रेजी खत्म हो गई है ते मैं ना एक कॉल लीला actually unfortunately we didn't take any call. अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी. हेलो.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम.
Uh, Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that I just wanted to appreciate the discussion. It's lovely to talk to both of you. And hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Okay.
All right. Yes, I couldn't catch the name of your guest speaker, but it's been I was on a long drive and I listened to your discussion, and mashallah, it's been valuable, very
Her name
valuable,
is
because
Dr.
it's
Lubna
lots of
Rizvi.
doctor.
Lubna Rizvi.
Rubna Rizvi. Thank you very much. Lovely to listen to both of you. It's wonderful discussion, because I'm also a parent, and we know that every parent is an educator as well, isn't it? So I've just taken this discussion as a reminder for me, because all of these little things, we hear them,
excuse me,
we read them so many times.
can you hear me? Could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Saima Khan.
Saima Khan. So, what do you do for living, if you don't mind?
Well, I'm raising my children for my living.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. Go ahead, Saima.
I'm doing a PhD at the moment, actually. So yeah, that's my job at the moment.
MashaAllah. So you are doing PhD, and what is your topic?
My PhD is on water sustainability education for primary school children.
MashaAllah. So you are
multidisciplinary.
okay, wonderful. Go ahead.
I am involved in education somehow as well. But I was listening to this talk, being a parent, and then obviously being in education as well. That these are all, I mean, all the points both of you have raised, and sort of reminders for all of us. Because I mean, these are the things we do, all the little values that we do read about them, we do listen, and we take, say, notes on for ourselves that we are going to do this and we're going to bring them in our practice. But somehow, I mean, with life, we just keep forgetting them, or we keep ignoring them. So these little reminders are very, very important and very valuable. So thank you very much.
Jazakallah, sister. Your contribution is wonderful. Thank you very much, and Jazakallah. And inshallah, we will invite you at some point, and inshallah, give your. We will find out what you have done about your research, and I hope that our listener will get lot of knowledge from you. Thank you very much, sister. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Inshallah, inshallah, at some
Assalamu
point. Thank you
alaikum
very
wa
much.
rahmatullah. ओके ख़वातीन रात मैं तो इंग्लिश बोल बोल के थक गया हूँ। तो ख़वातीन रात जो हमारा असल में टॉपिक था, उसमें हमने 2 टॉपिक को डिस्कस किया। एक तो जो रेज़िलियंस है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में, ख़वातीन के लिए भी, बच्चों के लिए भी, और एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है वो उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं। मैं समझता हूँ कि डॉक्टर लुबना ने बहुत ज़्यादा होमवर्क किया हुआ था और बहुत अच्छी जो चीज़ें हैं, बल्कि डाटा और जो वो कलेक्शन और उसके साथ एनालिसिस भी किए हुए थे। हम इंशाल्लाह किसी और दिन जो है वो बात करेंगे। थोड़ा-सा मैंने चेंज इसलिए किया कि मैं समझता हूँ कि जो हमारे लिसनर हैं, उनको भी जो है ना वो ज़्यादा बोर जो है वो ना किया जाए, इसलिए थोड़ा-सा हमने दरमियान में जो चीज़ें हैं वो लेके आए हैं। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच डॉक्टर लुबना फॉर शेयरिंग सच ए वैल्यूएबल insights. So, to all parents listening today, remember that raising children is one of the greatest responsibility and blessing from Allah. The goal is not simply to raise successful children, but to raise a confident, compassionate, and resilient Muslim who contributed positively to our society. ये जो है सतिंदर सरताज पंजाबी का एक शायर है, तो उसने बड़ी अच्छी एक पोइम जो है वो लिखी हुई है। वो हम इंशाल्लाह किसी वक़्त आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे, जिसका लुब्बे लबाब ये है कि कामयाब होना जो है वो बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है, बल्कि सुखी होना, पुरसुकून होना, ये सबसे बड़ी कामयाबी है। मे अल्लाह प्रोटेक्ट आवर चिल्ड्रन, स्ट्रेंथन आवर फैमिलीज एंड गाइड फ्यूचर जनरेशंस। ख़वातीन हज़रात, इसी के साथ मोहम्मद नसरुल्लाह को और डॉक्टर लुबना को इजाज़त दीजिए। अपना और गिरदोनवा के लोगों का ख्याल रखिए। अल्लाह ताला से दुआ है कि अल्लाह ताला हर आन हर घड़ी अपना ध्यान, अपना ज़िक्र, अपनी तवज्जो नसीब फरमाए, अपनी ज़रूरतों को दबाकर दुखी इंसानियत की खिदमत करने वाला बनाए, रियाकारी और दिखलावे से हमारी हिफाजत फरमाए और हर काम महज अपनी रज़ा के लिए करने वाला बनाए। अपना और गिरदोनवा के लोगों का ख्याल रखिए।